Good morning. Hello, this is Josh. Jaden Martell and Julian Dennison are the dudes who star in this movie, and there's no way I'm going to hold those names in my head long enough to remember them. So I'm just saying them at the top, and now I'm going to proceed with the review. Thank you. Hi, it's me, it's Josh. I saw a movie. So I saw a movie called Y2K, which is an A24 release, which might make you think that this is some kind of a artsy, important, lofty, elevated. Nope. This is a very goofy comedy based around the hysteria of the year 2000 and the belief that perhaps there would be some kind of technological apocalypse happening simply because we didn't know how computers were going to handle switching over from 1900 and something over to 2000. There was more to it than that, but essentially it boiled down for many people to that. And so here's a movie that is a period movie. It's lots of recent periods that are not as recent as they once were are getting kind of the nostalgia movie treatment. And here's 1999, a year that I lived through. I was a little older than these characters. In fact, I was getting married in the year 2000. So, but I still remember the culture being like this. We've got dial-up, we've got video stores, we've got rap rock, white rap rock, and all sorts of fun things being lampooned here in this movie. So I have, I'm just going to say this movie's really stupid and really fun, and I laughed a lot. Kyle Mooney, you kind of like him or you don't. Kyle Mooney from SNL wrote and directed this movie with collaborators, but he directed the movie. And it is, first and foremost, a teen comedy. It's a dumb comedy set on the backdrop of what if our worst fears about Y2K actually came true. And so that's a pretty fun premise, but it really helps, A, if you think Kyle Mooney's funny, which I happen to, and if you were there. It really helps if you were there. I tried talking about this in my workplace with some people that they remembered Y2K, and one of my colleagues said, I was one. So boy, do I feel old. But here's a wacky comedy for those of us who remember burning our own CD mixes and, really bad quality camcorders. We had like lightweight camcorders we could carry around, but they looked terrible, and just what websites looked like and all the fun stuff. This movie goes there, but then at a certain point it doesn't. So that my capsule review is that this is a good time, and it helps again if you're from there and then, and I am, so it worked on me. But it's a good time. If you don't know what's going on and you weren't there, then it might just seem weird. It still might be fun. And by the way, this movie also, it stars those two guys that I said. One is the little geeky kid, and the other one is the New Zealand kid from Deadpool 2, whatever. So these are two best friends, and they are kind of navigating, and one of them's not popular, and the other one is like charismatic. They're both considered kind of dweebs, but they have different kind of levels of success socially. And then Rachel Zegler from Spielberg's West Side Story and other things, the Disney's live action Snow White. She is in it as the object of interest for our hero, our nerdy hero. And so this story of teen partying and unrequited love and all this stuff plays out against this backdrop. And Kyle Mooney is in the movie as well as a kind of drugged out video store clerk, a white guy with dreads and magic sticks and rain stick and all these things. I really had a fun time at this movie. But now I'm going to get into really the issues I have with the premise. And this is so dumb, it doesn't matter. But I do have thoughts about, this movie is sold as, what if Y2K was real? And that's a great excuse to go back to the time and the place and to play with, the pop culture and the references and the nostalgia. But I guess if I have a bone to pick with the movie, it's that it kind of cheaps out on that. And I have some theories about why they did. Maybe they did the math and realized they needed to do this. But so essentially, the big fear was that all of our technology is just going to break or go haywire at midnight on 1999. Because we just don't know how our tech and our appliances and anything with a chip and a clock in it everything was becoming digitized. It was a big deal at the time. And we don't know what's going to happen when the clocks tick over to a new millennium. Everything was built around the 19 dates that start in 19. So it's ridiculous. They had dealt with it. It wasn't really an issue, but it became like a cultural thing that everybody talked about. And there were some, people theorizing, just like there are today, people theorizing gloom and doom scenarios for what could happen. And some of them come true and most of them don't. So, but here's what this movie does that to me is a little bit disappointing. Y2K happens. All the high schoolers are at a party and they count down, and it's who gets to kiss who at midnight and all that stuff. And then the lights go out and things start to go haywire. But rather than detailing, now what happens now, we thought planes were going to fall out of the sky and things were going to explode and everything was going to be crazy. And that stuff's in the movie. That stuff's all represented visually in one way or another. But essentially, I'm not going to spoil what happens in the end and the fates of characters. I'm just going to talk about the premise, okay? Instead of just being a breakdown of our infrastructure, the Y2K moment provides the opportunity for a malicious alien computer intelligence to take over Earth, essentially. And so all of our technology and appliances and computers kind of like become they assemble themselves into these robot soldiers and they try to take over. And that's really dumb. It's very cinematic. And I think that's probably what happened, is that they did the story math and realized a movie about the infrastructure collapsing and then a bunch of horny teens, smoking fatties, against the backdrop of just like dark highways is not going to be very interesting. So, Kyle Mooney has made stuff kind of like nostalgic stuff like this before, and he's really good at like getting the most out of it visually and with effects and whatever. So I guess that's what they did. They thought this has to be bigger, but it essentially is a Y2K movie for like 30, 40 minutes, and then it becomes an alien invasion movie. It becomes a robot fighting against the evil robots movie. And that's a lot less interesting. It's still very funny. So I don't take too many points away, but I think maybe there is still, a chance that somebody could make an actual Y2K movie. I wouldn't want it to be too overly serious, like a Emmerich movie. I have a pal. Anyway, I wouldn't want it to be overblown and like serious, but it's just, here comes my other friend. They're about to, no? Okay, I saw another shadow. Sorry. All right. So maybe this is just the best thing we're going to get, because it's genuinely funny. The references are on point. I'm not going to say who the surprise celebrity cameo is in the third act that helps them save the day, but it's very funny. And so, it is what it is. This one worked on me, even if I have quibbles with the plot. But again, picking apart the plot of something this intentionally stupid is a bit silly. So that's it. What a fun time. And I guess there's still interesting stuff coming out. We've only got a couple of weeks left in this year, and there's still movies to see. So I will be back soon to talk about it. I have some long promised goodies and treats coming very soon. They're actually happening. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to talk about our favorite movies of the year and our not favorite movies of the year and all that stuff real soon. You can support me on Patreon right here on the channel, or you can listen to my new podcast feed, which will be in the description. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Josh out.